friends, and welcome to part 2 of my Fosette vlogs. I've been out of town away from all of my usual stuff. I'm visiting my family, so right now I'm in my little sister's room. Hopefully the lighting and everything is okay. I'm filming on my cell phone, so bear with any sort of weird technical things. But I have been absolutely dying to talk about my Fosette progress. So the last time I shared with you, I had just completed the ribbing, and that was probably about 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago now. I've made a little bit of progress. So this is where I'm at. I have just finished separating for the sleeves and worked maybe an inch of the body. So I'm loving how this pattern is working up. It's kind of slow in some places. I'm not very good at color work. Also, side note, I'm trying to talk a little bit quietly because baby Tam is on the bed out there asleep, and so I don't want to bother him, and also I don't want my family members to hear me, you know? Anyway, I really, really love how this is coming out, but it has been a little bit slow in places. Like some of this section and this section are stranded color work. This section up here is mosaic color work, which is much, much faster. But yeah, so right now I've just finished this beautiful, I think this is probably my favorite part of the pattern, this beautiful textured section, and I am working on another color work section before I do just the plain stockinette for the body. I realized after finishing my textured section that I remembered that I had actually used some of this yarn for another project, so I didn't have a full 100 grams. So I am supposed to, this colorwork section down here is supposed to look exactly like this colorwork section, but I realized that I just was not going to have enough of the yellow yarn, so I decided not to do the yellow yarn in this colorwork section, and I believe there's another colorwork section at the bottom just before the ribbing, and I'm going to do the yellow there. So I'm just doing colors A and B for this colorwork section. And the one other change that I did make to it is I added a few short rows. We're going to see how this works. I have never done this in a pattern before. I've never added short rows where it didn't call for them. Sorry, trying to make sure nobody's coming up here because awkward. Anyway, so I added just a few rows of short rows here in the back after I had finished the texture section. Just before I split for the sleeves, I added like maybe an inch of short rows, so it was just like back and forth like 3 or 4 times, something like that. Nothing crazy, but I am very sensitive to things pushing on my neck, like right here. It makes me feel like I'm choking and like kind of gagging the whole time, and so this Fosette doesn't come, like the pattern doesn't have instructions for adding short rows, but I wanted to give it a try. And originally I was thinking about trying to do it just underneath the neckband where you normally find it, but I was a little bit intimidated by it, and then I found a blog post by Tin Can Knits where it was giving instructions for adding short rows to their flax sweater, which is just like their classic basic free sweater pattern. And so I just decided to sort of follow the instructions from that, and they had you do it just before splitting for the sleeves. So that's what I ended up doing. I also changed, so this, I think the beginning of the round for all of this colorwork section is supposed to be like on your shoulder or something. I just switched it around so that it's center back. Yeah. But yeah, so far it is coming along beautifully. I can't remember, I think I'm making the 4th size. I'll look at the numbers and I'll put it on the screen, but I think it's the 4th size. So yeah, it's really fun. I already am thinking about a second and maybe a third one. I'd love to make like a winter version where it's full on, like full sleeves and everything. And then I'd also love to make one in more like spring kind of colors, because I realized that this one is very, it's very autumnal, with all these colors, these rich kind of jewel tones. And just as a refresher, my color A here is Baroque Vintage Baby, and then the other two colors, this is my color B, it's one of my hand-dyed yarns, and then this mustard gold is one of my hand-dyed yarns. And those are both fingering weight. Both of my hand-dyed yarns are fingering weight that I'm holding double. But yeah, so far it's been really fun. It's very interesting, and it's also cool because I'm kind of practicing techniques that I haven't really done too much before, specifically color work, because there's so many color work sweaters I would love to do, but I just feel so intimidated by that. So something like this is really great because it kind of gives me a chance to practice the technique. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm hoping to get a good chunk of the body done before I go back home, because that would just be lovely. But it's been kind of interesting solo parenting because Micah's not here yet. He's coming this weekend, but it's just been me and my family. But you know, like, baby Tam is my baby. He's my responsibility. So I've been doing a lot of watching him and whatnot, and he's also been teething this whole time. So, whew. But anyway, so I've had much less knitting time than I anticipated, but that's okay. I've been squeezing it in here and there when he naps and whatnot, or when we're on car rides. We had several long car rides, so yeah, I'm very happy with the progress that I have made, and I am just going to keep chugging away at this because I really do think like the body part where it's just stockinette is going to fly off the needles because I'm not going to have to worry about switching colors and whatnot. And I'm just not very good at this color work thing, and I hold both colors in my left hand, and so then my yarns will get twisted and I have to stop and untwist them and all that fun stuff. But anyway, I'm going to sign off here because I don't want anybody to come in, and baby Tam's on the bed, so I just want to go sit by him and make sure he doesn't fall off the bed. So thank you for watching part 2, and I hope to be back sometime in the next couple of weeks with another part. Probably part 3, maybe part 4. I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to combine this with my regular podcast, if I'm going to do most of my Fosette information in the Fosette vlogs or what. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.